Hi, Jules Cruise Companion. Just recently I went on Carnival Splendor from Sydney to Moreton Island on a 4-night cruise. And this is some of the footage that I shot on the inside decks of Carnival Splendor. The atrium, some of the shops and some of the restaurants, but I might leave that for a separate video. This first 2 minutes of the video is just going to be different perspectives of the atrium. The atrium is on deck 3, and when you enter Carnival Splendor on embarkation and disembarkation, this is the level that you would come into the atrium. The atrium is serviced by 4 glass lifts that go right up the void to the Skylight. So most of the commercial areas on Carnival Splendor are on decks 3, 4 and 5. The Skylight above the void in the atrium is the Thunderball water slide. You will notice by now that there is a predominant circle, pearl, gem type feel about the whole of Carnival Splendor. Splendor was originally going to be a Costa ship. She is a Concordia designed ship made in Italy in 2007. The interior design by Joe Farkas is a mismatch of about 4 different themes, one of them predominantly being this pearl theme, translated with the black pearl and the gold pearl restaurants. The pearl theme also extends that you may see on some balustrades that they have ridges and bumps in it looking like a string of pearls. The decor has been described as unique, unusual, tacky and tasteless, as it combines this pearl theme with a white star line retro feel with people in bathing suits and interesting paintings along the walls. You can see these dimples and circles of pink, which is striped, which is called a zebra theme. But the whole interior has a little element of darkness, overwhelm, claustrophobia, even with the amount of light that is in these little dotty pearl lights. This is the atrium space coming down from the lift. Then I'm going to walk down a corridor and I'm going to approach it from a different angle. And so with this black and pink circle theme, it's supposed to represent zebras because it's a stripey feel to it. But with the black floors, the dotty lights, the shiny black floors and the reflection, it's quite an overwhelming sensation space, both with sights and sounds. Another thing that you will notice that the lifts and the toilet doors, for example, in public spaces, all have a similar stripy circle feel to it that doesn't differentiate at all. So this is the space on about the 10th deck, and this is the upper level of the Lido pool space, which has a cover over it because this boat was built for a European climate where they'd have harsher winters and wanting to have this pool space available to passengers at all times. It has this undercover pool and spa area. This is the space where it looks down over the 9th deck and the Lido deck, and that is where they have a large stage and movies are run at different times. On this level there is also ping pong tables. So if you are not familiar with Carnival Splendor, this is the boat that had the fire in 2010 that disabled the boat and required towing back to San Diego. And the analysis of that incident just reflected a poor design that should never have happened, but poor design seems to be something that this previous Costa Concordia style of ship has. Those grey unwelcoming doors are to Cloud Spa, and every door looks like a blast door. Nothing really looks inviting and opening. It's a very confronting ship if you have never been on a cruise ship before. So this is going into the Lido area, which has quite, once you get into this space, a traditional feel of a cruise ship. And this is the burger bar type area where you've got the 5 choices of burgers, but a clean, open, bright, not overwhelming, not dark. There's none of the pink circles, and even though this footage was shot at night, it still looks like an open, welcoming space. There are 2 bars down in this space, one on either side, a rum bar and a tequila bar. When it is a full cruise ship, these spaces are very packed. It was quite a lively space. That is a vision of the pizza stand, and there was queues there all of the time. At the rear of the boat you have the sanctuary, the adult only area, and then I only shot this next bit in the night, and then they'll have a bit of vision of during the day. But there is another exclusive sanctuary area on, I think, the 11th or 12th deck that I didn't film on this occasion. At the rear of the boat, near this sanctuary space is this sandwich bar, which I think they called the Artisan, and on the other side is the Indian restaurant. It was very tasty, very nice indeed. Back into the deck 4 here, just showing some of the signage and some of this overwhelming pink dot space where there is just an enclosed, dark, yeah, it's very overwhelming. If you are a sensory person, both sights and sound, this space can be quite confronting. This is heading towards the back. This is the Red Frog type bar area. Once I got into this space, it was a more traditional feel, and on this occasion I think they were doing line dancing or Zumba or something of that nature. Even though it does have the lower ceilings, you can see a lot of those black pillars. I'll demonstrate more of those pillars during other videos, especially in the public spaces and how they impede movement. Walking through the casino, you can actually traverse the outside decks on, I think it's 5 and 6, but the doors are just not welcoming. It's just a big blast doors that doesn't invite you to go out and promenade on the outside deck. This is possibly due to its European heritage, though it never spent much time in the European waters. Then you're coming here into the commercial type areas. Once again, there's those big pillars in the middle of the walkway. So this is the commercial shop type area, which would be on about the 5th level. I won't go into much depth about the shops on Carnival Splendor. They are the same as every other boat. You have jewellery with Effie, you have duty free with liquor, you have costume jewellery, you've got clothing, and you've got that commissary type space if you wanted to buy, you know, like flip-flops or just general stuff that you may have forgotten. The feel of these commercial spaces on Carnival Splendor are very traditional and what you would expect on a modern cruise ship. Light, bright, open, easy to see, not many obstructions. Yeah, this is a very pleasant space. And then we move into the Our House Sports Bar with a very kitschy feel to it. Once again, very dark decor, metallic, those little look like faces on the wall just made of almost trash or recycling. It's an interesting space. It does have 2 entrances, which a lot of the ships, bars and stuff really concerned me that it really only looked as if it had 1 entryway, but it had 2 once I did more of an investigation. So moving back on deck 5 through the casino, there's that dark lacquer floor that reflects the dotty lights from above. It's quite an overwhelming space, walking past bars. We're going to come up to some more commercial space. We're going to come to the lolly shop, which is, I think, cherry on top. It was only open at different times of the day, not open all the time. Quite a nice juice bar. I used that a couple of times to have some nice refreshing beverages. Then it was into the child's only space. I think this one was. Once again, big silver poles in the middle of the walkway. I just don't get big pole in the middle of the walkway. The design of this boat was very interesting. Going past coffee shops, this one is the warehouse, that's the arcade space, and then looking there into the red carpet. I went to a private function in the red carpet. It was quite a reasonable space, but once again, dark colours made it quite overwhelming. Big pole right in the middle of the walkway. This was one of my biggest bugbears about this whole ship. And here is the pearl theme following us on the ceiling as we walk towards the alchemy bar. If you look on some of the older deck plans, this alchemy bar has a wine bar name instead of a cocktail name bar. Then the grand piano room. That's a kitsch little room with all the tables looking like the top of a grand piano. And down to the back in the aft section is the El Moroccan, which is quite a beautiful space, an open discotheque lounge type area with a bar and nice reclining chairs. I spent quite a lot of time in this space. So that was some footage of some decks within Carnival Splendor. Quite an interesting boat, as you can see. I hope I didn't put anybody off by any of my comments, but you can read all about what other people's feelings are about Carnival Splendor on any of the social media and on Cruise Critic, etc. So I hope you're planning a cruise somewhere in Australia or the world really soon. This is Jules Cruise Companion saying stay safe, everybody, and happy travels.